Hello there, welcome back to Jennie Designs with Paper on Christmas on the 25th, where I take you along with me while I get my Christmas card stash ready early this year. So get comfy and let's get crafty. I purchased the Picket Fence Studio Santa Claus Comes Tonight stamp set because I am a sucker for Santa Claus. I love a cute Santa. On today's card, I'm going to use the Pointed Evergreens die from Simon Says Stamp. I contemplated this landscape die. Spoiler alert, I don't use it. I will be creating a 5x7 inch card, and I'm using this piece of pattern paper. It's from our recollection pad from last Christmas, and I'm using the left-hand side as the background. And here is my Santa. He was watercolored in the Creme and Color video that aired today as well. I sent him through my brother's Scan and Cut, got him all cut out. I've taken a black marker around the edge to hide the white paper, and it's time to assemble. So this is a large Santa, and he will fit on a regular A2 size card, but I wanted a little bit extra. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off this piece of paper. I'm cutting it down to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So there's a little tiny border. And I'm going to place Santa more on the bottom right-hand side of the card, but I don't like, well, okay, two things, or one thing first. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm excited. This Santa Claus stamp has some shadowing already built into it, but my Scan and Cut didn't cut it out very well. So I'm just going to put Santa Claus on my card front where I want him to be. I'm going to line up the stamp. Then I will close my Misty door and pick up the stamp, remove the Santa Claus, and then restamp the feet. And I'm just going to stamp the feet because all I need is that shadowing that when he's standing in the snow that's created in the stamp already. I'm going to go ahead and use Versaclear Nocturne black ink because this is the black ink I used to stamp the watercolor image. So now my black inks will match and it will look more like one image. I did not heat emboss this. Even though the Santa Claus I did heat emboss, I don't think that it's that important. But I'm going to go ahead and see how perfect that looks. Awesome. Okay, now the second thing I need to do is I don't like the white poking through on the edges of the blue background paper. So I've pulled out my archival ink. This is cobalt blue and a foam blending sponge. And I'm just going to ink blend right around all 4 edges. I'm not being too precious about it, and I'm not bringing the ink onto the front. It's just to hide that white core. Before I adhere my Santa Claus down, I want to put down these Christmas tree dies that I cut out. I used some green cardstock from my paper stash, my scrap stash, and I'm just going to lay these down in a line behind where the Santa's going to be adhered. Obviously, he's taller than the trees, but that's just going to make it look like the trees are pushed back into the background and Santa is then in the foreground. I decided I had enough room. I didn't have to overlap them too much. And now that I've figured out where I want to put them, I'm going to go ahead and use my reverse clamp tweezers and Tombow Mono liquid glue to adhere them. I will hang the branches off each side just a tiny bit. And that's not a big deal because my card panel is slightly smaller than my card front. Sometimes it's kind of nice when you can extend your composition off of the panel and still have it be on the card itself. It just kind of creates a more unified look with the card panel and the card itself, the card base. I'm also going to take that Tombow glue and I'm going to use Tombow glue to adhere my Santa Claus. I'm using glue because, first of all, this is watercolor paper, so it is quite thick. It doesn't need much more dimension. I don't want to pop it up with foam tape because then his cutout image won't line up exactly with the stamped shadowing in the snow. And it's a little bit warped from all the water from the watercoloring, and this liquid glue won't bend or pop off the page. It'll also help keep the Santa Claus and the card panel itself flat. I'm just going to hold it in place and push down on it where I feel like it needs extra pressure just until I feel like it's actually started to adhere. I cannot cannot decide. Sorry, y'all, words are hard today. Cannot decide which sentiment I want to use because I love them all. But I did decide to go ahead and use the one that says Merry Christmas to all and to all a good night, because it will stamp right across the bottom of that card panel, taking most of that card panel up. And I just think it was kind of perfect. I am 100% sure I will use the Santa Claus again. And I'm 100% sure I will use all of these sentiments on at least one card this year, because it is a fabulous stamp set. Oh my gosh, I'm in love. And I will tell you, I went to go purchase this stamp, and the first place I looked was Simon Says, because I was ordering a couple other things, and they were out of stock like the day after I saw it. Kelly Taylor did a video with it, and I'm like, oh, I need that. And it was out of stock. So I did a panic search, and I found it in stock on Picket Fence's own website. But this is a cute one. It's going to go fast. Okay, I have the sentiment stamped on, and now I need to decide how to put my card panel on the card front, and I am going to use 3M foam tape. This is the remnants of that gigantic roll that I used to be able to order off Amazon that is now discontinued, which I'm a little salty about. However, Alta New has a giant roll of foam tape now as well. So I found another source. Once I've got the foam tape all over the back, and I put a ton on because I don't want this card panel to bend or come off the card base. So I put a ton of foam tape on this card panel, and I'm going to turn my card sideways so that I can see 3 sides at one time and eyeball center my card panel. I'm going to push that down, and I'm almost done, y'all. I need some sprinkles, some sparkles though. And I was about to pull out my Wink of Stella pen. Then I remembered that this is watercolored, and all that will do is watercolor it. So I grabbed some diamond stickles from my stickles drawer. And I will be 100% honest about the only time I pull out stickles is when I'm making Christmas cards. They take a while to dry, but they're beautiful and they catch the light. So it works for me. I'm going to add stickles to the bell because it is metallic and it needs to shine. And then I'm going to put stickles on the pom-pom on Santa's hat because it's a pom-pom. And then just because I have it out and I want to, I'm going to add stickles to a few of those little white dot stars in the background on the blue paper. I think I put 5 or 6 little globs of stickles on the background. And that is my completed card. If you want to see the coloring, check out the Crime and Coloring video for today. I used watercolors, and I love how it turned out. And this Santa is so dang cute. And I am a sucker for a cute Santa. I will admit it. I love the Santa Clauses. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I have a couple other videos here I think you might like. I've also added that subscribe button. Go ahead and click that button and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. Are you pro or con Santa Claus? And if you don't like Santa, who's your favorite Christmas character? Leave me a thumbs up. Tell YouTube you liked the video, and have a really fabulous day.